Hello, podcast review with Mike Baker. How you doing today? Just a quick review before it gets too dark out here. Um, what's he doing in this podcast? He is talking about, well, it's American politics podcast, of course, with Biden and Trump, and Joe is willing to poke fun at both of them. And he's talking about the ability to vote either online or with a QR code, biometric or fingerprint. And I think this is a very important topic that's going to be being implemented in probably the near future, where you have that check mark on Twitter or you have that check mark on YouTube. Everybody will have a check mark. And if you don't have a check mark, you're going to be kind of like a non-entity. You're going to be out of the loop. He gives a shout out to the Federalist as a news source. And it's interesting because he talks about being against, if people put a mask on and they're self and he says, oh, F you or something like that. And that's really kind of a red herring. The main one is the testing. That's where the bread and butter is in the testing. I don't like the jacket. It always makes a bump here for some reason. Makes me look like I got a weird shoulder or something. Sorry. So yeah, he does that. And then he talks about he's having dinner with the governor, right? Remember I was saying that he's making the transition into the political arena from stand-up comedian to podcaster to the governor of Texas, right? So he has dinner with the governor, and I'm sure that goes really well. And he's learning all about the new AI-controlled nation-state cooperative effort of the global government. And I think we should get away from being so afraid of globalism, because with the implementation of universal basic income, that is going to be the carrot so that people are happy. Aldous Huxley, in his interview, he talks about people will be happy to be under a totalitarian regime. It's not going to be as scary as people think it is. And I think when we hear the term all in this together, that is the buzzword for the new, and I use the word communist, but again, communist shouldn't be such a scary thing, because you can see where that shift is going in that direction. They could use a different word. Maybe they'll start using the word communal, or maybe they'll start using the word cooperative, because traditionally the term communist has had such a negative connotation, especially in the United States. So as this global agenda gets implemented, you'll see these things start to slowly grind into place. So it doesn't really matter who's in power, whether it's Biden or Trump, it doesn't matter. And what else? Talking about conspiracy theories, because people enjoy talking about conspiracy theories. That always gets people's attention. And talking about aliens, which is important too. Now, Christ mentioned, he said, there's other sheep that I have that are not of this fold. Now, people say, oh, well, he was talking about the Gentiles. But he talked about Gentiles in other instances. So he could have used the term Gentiles. He could have said, well, I got to go preach to the Gentiles too. But he never said that. He said, I've only come to preach to the lost sheep of Israel. But he mentioned, he says, I have other sheep that are not of this fold. As if he's saying that are not of this world, right? Not of this fold, not of this world. And so my take on it is that, sure, there could be aliens out there, and they may have surprisingly similar interactions with an avatar, a delegate, a son of God, as Christ himself. Maybe use the same name, I don't know. But I would imagine that he would be in contact with them just as he is with us. But just a theory. Hey, just a theory. And a sponsor, I guess, is probably CBS again, because South Park and the movie, and of course Borat and whatever is they're promoting as usual. So that's it. A very interesting, topical, straightforward podcast, and it's interesting to see that Joe is definitely on top of the globalization of human control, management. Human management is where the world is going towards, and it should be a more cooperative world. It should be, and don't forget, he mentioned the difference between the left and the right is not as big as people think. The difference between Republican and Democrat is not as people think. But they can squelch, they can turn up the you know, the volume on either side whenever they want to, and freak people out. They're very good at manipulating human behavior. So whenever we see ourselves gravitating to one side or the other, we should make sure that we're aware, hey, wait a minute here, this is, you know, not where I want to go. And so, not that we have to stay as moderates or what have you, but I mean, we should have a moderate view of the polar extremes, because that's kind of where you can see the efforts are going. Efforts are going towards, we're all in this together, let's cooperate, just be happy and take the pill and don't think about it. And it may not be such a bad future. Don't forget, we haven't hit World War III, so anything's better than World War III. So if they're able to manipulate human behavior, they're able to experiment, identify people with or without a mask, running that through the computer. AI is learning on the fly and amalgamating everything, controlling everything. It might not be such a bad future for our next generations. So that's my take on it. If you don't agree, please make sure you check out the interview with Aldous Huxley. I think I'll put a link to that in my video review. So that's about it. Pretty straightforward podcast. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care. God bless you. Have a great day. Take care now. Bye-bye.